I live in Mexico now, so I'm doing this alphabet in Spanish. Here we go with rice. There, you can see easily 2 eyes, a nose, mouth, and a beard. Once at least, I hope. Zooming in here for you. Thing is, I know that this sounds totally nuts to people, but Jesus explained that that's the way it is with spiritual stuff for most people at first. It's just way over people's heads to tell them, like, hey, you're blind and you don't even know it. Like, God's face has been around you all your life, but you failed to see it because you haven't searched for Him. Now, this came as a huge surprise to me, because when I started getting close to God, it was just because I was asking Him to heal me, because I had partied too much, like most adolescents my age, and just ended up feeling like really horrible. And the worst point of the whole thing was when I decided not to do God's will, and it was like instantly, as soon as I thought of that, just boom, I felt so bad. Thank God, because también, I'm thinking in Spanish. Also, basically, instantly I started repenting, like thinking that was really stupid of me to think of that. God, I'm so sorry. That's what it's all about, doing His will, because that is happiness. I know there's a lot of sad people out there. They say that it's like, I don't know, maybe more than a third of the American population, probably Canadian population, that's on some kind of prescription drug trying to make them happy. It's not going to work. It might fog your mind a little bit, or who knows, but it's not real happiness. Real happiness comes from doing God's will. You can see a really explicit instruction on doing God's will when Jesus goes up on Mount Sinai and gives the Sermon on the Mount. Key search words, the Sermon on the Mount for you. Basically tells you everything you need to do to be happy. Yeah, follow all the commandments. Then there's little things too, like don't get angry with people, don't judge people, be generous. If somebody asks you for something, give it to them. Your happiness is worth way more than any material thing that you can get. Like, trust me, you can get all the stuff you ever wanted. Like, I had a 4x4 ski boat, nice big house on a fishing lake, close to a skiing lake, in like supposedly, well, the nicest place in the world to live. But I wasn't happy, because that's just a big deception. Money is just a huge deception, and the want for it just distracts us from wanting the real goods, which is stuff like love of God, the very first commandment. That's going to make you real happy if you start trying to search to love God, for sure. You can feel yourself getting happier just by thinking of it. And God is good, like, no matter what people say, it's obviously the truth, because you can see all around, like, look at the beauty of everything. Something bad could not make something this good. So awesome. And I know you're going to be looking at these pictures thinking, oh, I see it here and I see it there, and maybe some of you are going to even see it in places that I haven't even seen it, which doesn't surprise me, because it doesn't take that much effort to just take a look at one single place. Don't move your eyes from that place, and boom, seriously, like 5, 10, 15 seconds of just looking at one single place, looking for God's face, you're going to find it, because it is everywhere. But it all depends on what your priorities are. Like, it's just ridiculous not to have God as your priority, because that affects your eternity. Anyways, so I made this video because I feel totally happy. I know what it's like to be depressed. I don't want anybody to be depressed, because that is the fruit of evil. and there's a big bad invisible dragon. It's like an alien, basically. It's not a human being that messes with people and makes us hurt each other and makes us totally miserable. And that like makes me really upset, actually, and I'm gonna be dancing in heaven when it's burning in hell forever, because it has no business doing what it's doing. Like, yeah, God created it and everything, but it has its own free will, and just like humans, we have our own free will. And I'm like exceedingly happy knowing that that thing is going to burn forever. And this, the knowledge of knowing that you will see God's face everywhere when you obey him, is gonna heal you. Doesn't matter what problem you have inside, you're gonna feel good. Like, I don't care if you're in a concentration camp or like under the worst conditions, like you just lost your whole life. You look at God's face for 1 minute and you're gonna at least start to feel better. And if you look at it, if you just stare at his face for 5 minutes, you're gonna feel way better than you've ever felt in your life. 10 minutes, like, so good you probably can't even stand it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I try to look at his face all day and I feel like I'm flying all day. Really, it's way better than any drug. Like, you talk about ecstasy, man, I feel so good. Right now I'm looking at his face right now and couldn't feel any better. That's what it's all about. And I know, like, when people finally come around, they're gonna start obeying God. And now that we have like an objective, like, not just obey God because I say so, it's like obey God and you're gonna see his face. And that's just the beginning, like seeing his face everywhere. That's just the very beginning, like the tip of like the infinite iceberg, man. Because when we look at him, we become like him. Like, who's the most excellent being ever? God, Jesus Christ, right? So that's my whole goal, right? I want to be excellent too. I don't know what other people are thinking. I hope you're not thinking I want to be a slime bag or a slime bag, a slime ball or a dirt bag. Like, I seriously hope not, because now you know, like, God's face is everywhere, man.